Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Gaming Tetacom video. It would appear that Street Fighter V has actually been leaked. That's right, Capcom accidentally put the trailer up on the internet, and since it has removed the trailer, well, at least it's made it private, and a couple of other people have tried to upload the trailer, but it's been pretty much taken down instantly. So if you want to have at least a few images and GIFs, I have linked an article which I've wrote which have contained them, so you could check that out if you want. But here's the kicker. The PlayStation 4 and the PC are going to be the only platforms, it would appear, that are going to be getting Street Fighter V. That's right, it's exclusive to the PlayStation 4 and the PC, and this is actually said in the trailer. Now, there are multiple things which strike me on the unofficial unveiling of Street Fighter V. One, of course, is the exclusivity. Does it mean that it's not going to be even available on the arcades? Does that mean there's literally going to be no arcade version of it at all? That would be kind of puzzling, considering most fighting games do originate in the arcade and then get ported to home, or at the very least get a simultaneous launch, so that's a bit odd. Secondly, the exclusive part. Now, I want to reiterate, it's not exclusive to the PlayStation 4 and it will also be on the PC, but it obviously does imply that there won't be an Xbox One version of the title. So, if that's the case, is that going to be a timed thing? In other words, 6 months down the line, are we going to be able to punch someone in the face with Ryu if you're playing on the Xbox One version? Or does it quite literally mean that for the foreseeable future, the title is literally not going to be on the PS4? Perhaps, maybe Sony gave Capcom some money towards the development costs. Maybe there's something going on in terms of their technology, which is pushing them towards releasing it only on the PS4. In other words, maybe Sony helped Capcom, say, produce some of the game's engine or whatever the reason. But right now, the trailer does say that it is exclusive on the PS4 and PC. From what we can see, it is still a 2D brawler. So in other words, it's not going to 3D, which I, for one, am quite happy about. And similarly, most of the moves do appear to be basically very familiar. For example, Ryu has Shinku Hadoken, he has Tatsu, he's fighting against Chun-Li in the screen grabs that we've got, and it looks quite nice. There's definitely a much higher level of detail compared to, say, USF4. Speaking of USF4, I'm actually eating a little bit of humble pie myself. Why? Well, just a few days ago, I actually mentioned in regards to the PlayStation Experience conference, you know what? I don't think it's going to be released. I said I don't think it's going to come out yet. I think it's going to be something a bit different because, well, Capcom are putting so much into Ultra, and obviously that's completely and utterly wrong. Ultra Street Fighter 4, of course, is receiving the Omega mode, but it would appear that, well, Capcom want a fighter on the next generation of systems, and that would appear to be SF5, and well, if that's the case, then the previous rumours of USF4, for example, being ported on to the PS4/Xbox One, which would have been fairly cheap, to be honest, to do, considering that it does have working PC code for USF4, it really wouldn't have been too hard for Capcom to have ported it over to both platforms. Now, obviously, things are still pretty early, and so we don't really know that much about the fighting system yet. It's still extremely early. We don't know how many moves they've added per character. We don't know what the combo system is really going to be like. We don't really know, many different things, like does it have focus attacks, that type of thing. We do see, for example, Ryu kind of powering up for a second, which almost looks a little bit like Tekken's Netsu, but we don't really know all of the properties or anything like that. And even the links themselves look a little bit different. It has a very slight element, and obviously we're looking at very limited amounts of footage, but it does have some elements of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but a lot more refined, and definitely does look, I would say, quite a step up from Street Fighter 4. But if one was to carefully analyse things such as, let's just say, the movement of the clothing of the characters, you could definitely see that the movement of the clothing does much better reflect than what it ever has in previous Street Fighters. Even when Ryu's doing a Shinku Hadoken, you could see the ambient light of the fireball actually reflecting on the character's clothing that much better. I mean, obviously it has been in, even even Street Fighter 3 did have clothing movement if you were to fire a fireball, but it's just that much sharper. It just looks pretty damn awesome. And from what I'm seeing on some of the attacks, for example Ryu's Tatsu, there is that ink blotch effect. Now obviously we don't know how prolific that's going to be throughout the series, but I'm really liking it so far. And I for one welcome Street Fighter V. So I guess we're just going to have to see how it really plays. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.